Hey, good morning. Hey,
Morning, morning.
I got notes for you.
From
Yeah,
yesterday?
from yesterday because
Okay.
I didn't record the video. I thought I recorded, but I got the
It's okay,
notes.
but you got my email, right?
Oh, I didn't get it.
Oh, I sent you an email that I had an emergency dental appointment.
Okay, yeah, I got the notes for you. I try to
Okay.
email them over to you, and
Okay, thank you.
it's all organized, telling you how to plant in pots, like from 14
Okay.
inches to, it just
Okay.
breaks it all down, how many plants per pot and everything.
Hi, cutie. Hi. You helping Daddy give the class today?
She helped me yesterday.
Oh.
She about to go to daycare today.
So listen, before everybody gets on and I hog up the time, I can email you at that email address you sent, right? If I have questions about other stuff.
Yeah, you can hit me on Yellow Mound Garden at
Okay, good.
Gmail.
Because I do have, like I told you, my mom had left us some land and we've been talking to loggers and different people like that. But isn't there a way that we could like maybe do it ourselves? Like, because I have cousins in North Carolina who used to be farmers
Yeah.
and then they're used to equipment and all that type of stuff. And my cousin Lonzo was saying, Auntie, we could rent the equipment.
Yeah, like I was telling you, I was like, you rent the equipment, y'all will come out way cheaper. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Did I mention that yesterday, or it was? Oh, I think you got out of class early, and I was telling people
right.
rent out equipment if they can.
Right.
And
Because see what happens, I have to log on to work at 9:45.
okay,
So as soon as I'm leaving you guys, I'm logging into work, maybe making a smoothie or whatever real quick before
yeah,
I, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think rent out equipment, y'all will definitely come out cheaper if you got a family member
Okay.
can do it. It's
Yeah, because that
way
guy was
cheaper.
talking about $9,000 to $14,000 an acre.
Yeah, that's what they usually charge per acre. But it's better to just get the equipment if you got somebody that not a worker, Bobcat, and then get you a wood chipper too as well.
Okay.
And then you
Uh-huh.
can shred all the limbs up, and that can be your mulch already composting out there on the
Right.
farm.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you're probably like, renting equipment and clearing it out. You ain't gonna spend no more than $5,000 like overall with
Right.
gas, but at the
Right.
end of the
Right.
day it's like look what you gonna get. You can get the mulch, you can
Mulch.
get
Yep.
you can do things that you maybe how you want it done. Like I
Right.
don't want that tree down, I want that tree to stay. Somebody else
Right.
come
Like
in
around the
there.
perimeter, you might want some trees,
Exactly,
you know?
so that's the
I
best
still got
way.
to do a lot of research because we when we were kids, we lived down south, but my mom was not a farmer, whereas my cousin's father was a commercial farmer and he sold his food at the market. So they're used to tilling the soil. They know about the soil. They
Yeah,
used to being in the country, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's definitely they if they know how to use the equipment, they're gonna be happy to do that. Trust me.
Okay.
They're gonna
And
be
see,
like,
they got 13 acres right next to my little 1 acre.
oh,
Because
that's
my great
perfect.
grandfather had about 25
Oh
acres
yeah,
and we
so
had
you're
divided
not gonna
up amongst
spend
the
that
children.
much money. You'll probably come out about $2,500 at the most.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking. You can clear it out in 2 days, and it'd probably be cheaper than that renting the equipment out. But at the end of the day, it's like if you do it for a week, I probably say 2,500. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Right.
like you really want to like clean it up and then look at it.
And then get the roots up. You got to
Yeah,
get the roots up too,
yeah,
so
and
that they don't grow back
for
up.
they won't grow back up. So yeah, I probably say a good week of clearing it out. It can take 2 days of clearing it out, but I probably say like a week, like
Right. To do it
yeah, do
properly.
it properly and have it looking right. And
Yeah.
the gas will probably be your biggest expense right now. That's about it, really.
I'm gonna talk to my cousin and see if there's some other people, experienced people down there along with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's been there his whole life,
His whole
man. He
life,
knows
yeah.
people.
Well, it seemed like everybody followed in late. I don't want to hold y'all up, so I'm gonna just go ahead and
Okay.
get started on the class
Okay.
because I kind of got to go today myself.
Okay.
Um,
You ready?
so today, here, y'all. Let me see. Can I put this in the chat? I'm gonna put this in the chat. This was from yesterday.
Oh, he's not coming with us, baby.
Oh, bye, Lucy. I love you.
He's gotta stay here.
I don't know. It probably ain't gonna format right, but let me see.
But it's better to send this to the email.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it
because
to
the
an
chat-
email. I just wanted to see how it look in the chat. Nah, I email it. Well, hey guys, all right, let's get on. Today's lesson is basically gonna be about how to water your plants. You
Okay.
know, because a lot of people really make mistakes at watering they plant. And I'm gonna try to email everybody a chart over too, like a watering
Okay.
chart. But I feel like this is what farmers mean, like new gardeners and new farmers, homesteaders. This is what everybody have the most problem in, because like once everybody get it growing, they like don't know how to feed their plants and stuff, or,
Right.
or don't know when to feed their plants, because like some people maybe have a hotter day and than others, you know what I'm saying? So you might see somebody post a video like my zucchini doing great, and you like, man, my zucchini ain't even growing, you know, and you may be getting a bunch of rain and stuff like that, but you still have to give your plants a certain amount of gallons of water a week,
Right.
you know, because the ground gonna suck all that water, and then you know a lot of it gonna get evaporate back into the sky, and all right, bye, Lucy. I love you. Have a great day. Like most plants, hey, bye, babe. I love
I
you.
love you.
Most plants really need like 1 to 2 inches a week, guys. Like majority all plants need like 2 inches a week. But say if you growing beans, all right, let's write this down. I'm gonna write all. We're gonna go over all the plants, how much water they need.
Okay.
And I think that'll help out big time. So let's start off with beans. So when your beans start to flower and development, they're gonna need 2 gallons a week, depending on the rainfall. Like I say, it depends, and you got to stick your finger down in the soil. If your soil is like wet, like 2 to 3 inches down in the soil, you don't need to water it. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So you don't want to overwater it. And then the next thing is for beets. So before you want,
Let's go. We're going.
so you want to do like beets. You want to give them 2 gallons every 2 weeks, because it's something that you don't really have to like water. They grow on their own. So it's like something you don't really got to wake up every day and be like, yo, let me get my beets water. You know,
Right.
even if it's like dry, you really don't still have to feed them, because they can kind of thrive, and because they're a root top, they'll reach all the way down for the water that's up under the soil in your pot or up under the ground. And broccoli is the next one. Broccoli love water. But the thing is, let me give you a secret. When you plant broccoli, after transplanting it, you want to water it for 4 weeks straight. I'm talking about like every day. You want to water it every day, like, because it loves water. Even if it rain outside in the morning and it don't rain during the evening, water the broccoli, because the broccoli love to be watered. They just love it. And then once they start getting into the flower stage, because all you eating is a flower, broccoli is nothing but a flower. So once you get into the flower stage, you kind of back up off the water, and then you start giving it just like 2 gallons a week, you know.
Okay.
So, and then the next one is cabbage. And it's the same thing. You just want to give it like 2 gallons per week. And you also want to make sure it's wet too, just like the broccoli. And then when it gets to the head development, that's when you really want to start feeding it water, because like, you know, for it to develop that head, it got to get a whole lot of water to make those leaves start pushing out. And that's when you start feeding it more. So say if you gave it 2 gallons in the morning, right? And you go outside and you put your hand in the soil 1 inch down in your pot, or 1 inch down in your soil on your farmland and it's wet, you don't have to water it. Okay. So the best time to really feed guys is in the morning and at night when the sun going down. That's the best time to feed your plants, I feel like. I feel like when you feed them in the afternoon, like during the middle of the day at like 12 or 1 o'clock, it burns your leaves and burn your plants and burn your roots. That's what I see from my experience of doing it over the years. I feel like it just get burned, you know. But if you're gonna do it, make sure you feed it by the roots. So you like basically feed it by the roots. Say if you like get in a meeting or something like that and you can't water your plants. And then you like, dang, oh shoot, it's 1 o'clock. Let me go try to feed my plants. Don't like overhead feed it. Just go up under the roots and feed it up under the roots towards the ground. That's where you want to feed it at more, because you don't want to like feed it on the top and then the sun come out, because plants like humans, you know what I'm saying? It's weird. They can get burnt too for just being in the sun, or if you just put something you put some water on it, it'll burn it. It'll put holes in them. And the next thing is carrots, guys. You wanna water carrots, almost every 2 weeks. Like in the early stage, you want to kind of water them a lot because you want to get them germinating. You want them to get going. But once they start getting real big, you just water them every 2 weeks too. So you don't really have to water them. And cauliflower, I don't know if y'all eat cauliflower. It's pretty good, but you only have to water them 2 gallons per week. But like I say, you want to make sure that you check your soil, because like I say, you can get those 2 gallons on that cauliflower, right? And if that soil still got some moist, you don't have to feed it, even if it rained that week. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes rain can like overfeed your plants too.
Right.
So like if it rained, don't feed your plants. Just wait after like 2 days or something like that. And
may I ask a question?
Yes.
So I guess I could have looked at my notes, because I know you mentioned something about mulch. When we're putting in containers, the mulch goes on the bottom?
Yes, you can put the mulch. I feel like putting the mulch on the bottom is better, because when it rains, I feel like the mulch just like splash up on the leaves and it give it like fungus. It give it like bad like bacteria, blight. It give it like so many different type of diseases and stuff. A lot of people don't believe that method because I don't know. It's just the way they grow. But if I look at it, I'm like, oh man, this is causing me problems. Maybe I need to put it up under the ground, and then put the soil on top, and then let the mulch break down at the bottom. That's what I believe in. Because
I don't know if this is true, but if you do that and it's too much water, will the mulch help to absorb that too much water?
Yeah, it depends on where you live at. So basically, that's what the lesson was on yesterday. I was kind of explaining people yesterday, I don't have to do a no-till garden because I get a lot of rain. See, areas that get a lot of rain, we don't really have to use mulch, because like weeds and grass is nothing but mulch. That's all it is. Hay. Like, so when you go cut your grass, your pasture, right? And you got a whole bunch of hay, you can just take all that hay and roll it out over your garden. You know what I'm saying? And it break down fast, because why is like raining? Rain breaks down everything. But say if you was in like a hot area like Arizona or somewhere like California, you'll have to use a lot of mulch to keep the moist, because like soon as the sun come up in Arizona, they ain't getting no rain for the next 200 days. So they have to have that mulch down for it to keep that moist. So,
and that has nutrients in it too, right?
Yes, they also have nutrients in it too. But I'm basically saying, if you live in an area that it rains a lot, just put a small portion, of mulch.
Okay.
And then for celery too, they like water. They love water too. So you can water celery every day, but they'll rather take 2 gallons per week. But I tend to like to water them every day because they love water. when I grow it like by a spigot or something. And corn, to be honest with y'all, it don't really even matter about corn. It just gonna grow. It's kind of like a weed, you know. But I'm gonna just give y'all the main thing that you need to know about your corn. Okay, so when you grow your corn, you're gonna have like the bottom of it, it's gonna turn red, and then it'll kind of start stunting the growth of the corn. But the stop that problem for that corn for developing, you need to add nitrogen, because like corn love nitrogen big time. So you can put more fertilizer around corn like every 2 weeks. You want to always side dress it. So it's like corn, they like water, but they really like more of fertilizer. That's what I'm basically trying to say. You know, like to really make your corn grow, you really need fertilizer, you know, to make it grow. And you can put chicken poop around it, you know what I'm saying? Or you can use what I said, compost. You can use Turk tea, or you can make your own compost tea by making like a compost bag, right? You can take like a what's the name, a coffee bag, and put your compost in it, and then you can take like a regular store bag and zip it up, tie it up, and then drop it in some water, and then get like a fish tank pump, and then you can cook your own compost, and then it cooks the microbes up for it to go on to the plants. And it makes,
do you go over that in your book?
Yeah, I think it's actually in the book too. Yeah, it explains that. No, I got it in the book that I written, but I haven't published it yet. My fault. I got it mixed up. But cucumbers, you can feed those once a week. You know what I'm saying? And if they get dry, you know, feed them, because they like water too. And then lettuce, you can feed those 2 gallons per week too as well. Lettuce just really like being in shade, you know, long as you put them in shade. So like, say if you growing a garden, you want to make sure your lettuce getting shade. You don't want your lettuce to get full sun like that. They can get full sun, but you would rather for your tomatoes to get full sun, right? And then guess what you're gonna have to give more water to? Tomatoes, squash, and zucchini, because those are warm crops, what we discussed in the first day of learning, you know. And basically I'm saying the warmer your crops, the warm crops gonna actually take more water, because why? They gonna be out in 8 to 12 hours of sunlight, you know. And then your stuff like lettuce and radish only need like 6 hours of sunlight. That's it. But they can take being in 12 hours, but you give them 6 hours, they'll actually grow better.
Okay.
The next thing is I just ordered some onions. I just ordered 1,000 onion slips. Onions, I feel like onions can be very confused, man. They basically maybe like 2 inches of rain. So I'm basically saying probably like 1 gallon, you know, a week of your onions. Because like if you water onions too much, the bulbs are like bust open, and you don't want your onions like tasting like water. Everybody know they want their onions to taste like, you know, onions, you know. Right. And you don't want to give it too much water for it to be just tasting like water, and they'll like bust open. So you kind of want your onions to dry out a little bit when you see them a little dry, and then you throw them some water, you know. And basically I'm saying you only feed your onions when you see the pot drying out, or only if you see like the ground is cracking and drying out, you be like, well, let me feed these onions, because you don't want to overfeed them. And then let me go ahead and throw a tip in there too. Onions are kind of like corn. You have to side dress them, put side dressing, and that means giving fertilizer. You have to do that every 2 weeks, or you will not get big onion bulbs at all, you know. And then let me explain this too, guys, because I know this gonna happen too. You got 2 types. Well, it's different type of onions, and I'm gonna say you got green onions, right? And those are sets. So right, sets, green onions sets, like SETS, sets. And then you got onion slips, okay? Onion slips are for big onions. And onion sets are for green onions. So they
You mean like scallions?
yeah, that's all they are basically, So they just like little green onions. That's all. And then, but some people be like, man, my onions didn't get big because they maybe went and bought sets.
Right.
And then they didn't know, like, oh, I had to go get slips because slips are different from sets, because sets are really nothing but green onions, something that you can harvest in 35 days and eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can kind of grow green onions all year long. And then you have the onion slips. They kind of grow. You got a short day variety and you have a long day variety. So when you order from somebody, you'll end up seeing it on the website. They'll tell you, they'll be like, well, this is a long day variety for your state. And then if you live in the northern hemisphere, they got like the northern part of the state, they have a different type of variety of the onions. All right, so let's get to peas. I think snow peas love to be wet. They love moist. That's something that you have to go out and water every day. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Even when they kind of moist outside, they still just like to stay moist. I noticed that if they dry out, it seems like they die out real fast when they like dry out. So keep your snow peas or your any type of peas moist. Long as they get up to 2 gallons a week, they're pretty good. But like I say, I feed my snow peas every day. And snow peas like sandy soil too. They kind of like sandy soil. So like basically if you're growing snow peas in a pot or something like that, you want to kind of put a little bit of sand in the bottom of your pot or something like that. Or if you're growing it in your raised bed, you want to go buy a bag of sand and put it in the raised bed if you're growing your peas in there. I ain't saying that snow peas can grow without sand. They can, but if you really want to get like a good production going, it's best to put a little bit of sand around it. And peppers is the next thing. And I feel like, 2 gallons a week is real good with peppers. You don't really have to feed peppers, man. Once the peppers get going, I'm talking about it can like go like 8 or 9 days without raining and it could be like 90 degrees and they'll still be thriving. Like, because they just love that heat. And that's how like peppers actually get hot and warm from the sun. I mean, that's how they get that flavor from the sun. That's how peppers get their flavor too, from the sun. And a lot of peppers turn red. Like you have to buy different varieties, but some of them get turned red from the sun. That's what I'm basically saying. And then the next thing is potato tubers. Potatoes really don't like water because why? Potatoes will rot if you just let them sit in water. So I kind of let my soil just kind of dry up on my potatoes. Like I got to see it like all the way dry for me to be like, okay, let me go feed them. And it goes back to what I say, like sticking your finger just half an inch down in the ground, to see if it needed. But like I say, I just let mine kind of get crispy. And then I water it because like I don't want my potatoes to rot, because if they sit there, they like tubers. Basically, they are tubers. So if they just sit there, they'll rot in the water. The next thing is radish. Radish, you don't really have to feed those like that, man. You can just sprinkle a little bit of water on them things. They'll grow on their own radish pretty much. But I probably say 1 gallon a week. An inch, or if you're growing inside of the ground, 1 inch of rain a week, and squash, 2 gallons a week. And the best, don't get discouraged. I know a lot of y'all gonna write me off of this. Y'all gonna be like, hey, Malcolm, because squash is the number one, probably one of the top 5 things that people make mistakes on. And it's the easiest thing to grow. But people get worried because I'm gonna tell you that your squash plants on hot days, they're gonna go down. The leaves just gonna drop down to the ground. And you're gonna be like, oh gosh, my plants are dying. You're gonna stress out. You're gonna be like, I put all this work in. They ain't dead. They just like saving their energy. They just like, whoo, it's hot out here. Hold on, you know. And then as soon as you see the sun go away, you'll see them bounce back. They'll be like, oh yes, you know, and they'll start sucking all the water back up. So don't get discouraged when you see like your squash just drop down and you water it and it got plenty of water, and you just, it'll stress you out. Cause I did it my first time. I was like, oh gosh, and then I end up overwatering it. Because this is why I'm teaching y'all this. Because like some of the things you got to kind of look at it and be like, well, I don't need to water, because if I overwater this squash, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna bust all the squash open, because that's all squash is nothing but like water, a flower. Basically, we eating a flower, but you feeding it water, and then it just fill up with water, and the flower just turn into a vegetable. It's beautiful. And also, y'all, you can eat the squash flowers too. So you can eat zucchini flowers, squash flowers. You can cook it. A lot of Spanish people cook them. Tastes real good. The next thing is tomatoes. You can do 2 gallons twice or more a week. The only reason why I say a more, because like I feel like tomatoes suck up a lot of water. They really do. Because like it goes back to what I was telling y'all, indeterminate and determined. So you got the indeterminate plant that's vertical. And then you got the indeterminate vertical, and the determinate is more of a bushy plant. So once they start bushing out and start growing, binding up, that's when they start really needing a lot of water, because they're gonna start putting out a whole bunch of fruits and stuff like that. So yeah, guys, that was the lesson today. That's what I feel like, for the people who just got in here, if you want me to go back over or whatnot, well, like if you want me to go back over, like you feel like I missed something, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
I feel like that'll kind of like settle everybody up on knowing how to feed their plants. I just feel like that's like one, I kind of changed the whole lesson, because I was like, man, I'm really teaching these people, but they really gonna make a mistake on feeding these plants, because
right.
like you have to like know how to feed your plants. If you don't know how to feed them, they're gonna end up dying. And yeah, if you don't know how to feed them, hey Jill, how you doing? If they don't know how to feed them, all the plants will end up dying. And
right.
It's best to know when to feed them. So you always need to stick your finger down in the soil before you even feed any plant. I want y'all to know that. Let me see. Let me just see what I feel like y'all missed.
So Malcolm, I'm going to go ahead, since you pretty much gave us the gist of it, okay?
Okay, yeah. And I try to send you those notes from yesterday, okay?
Okay, y'all have a good day.
Okay, you have a good day too.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Hey, Jill, I actually got to go early today. The only reason why I have to go early today, because my daughter left her school project, and I got to take it to the school. But I could send you all the notes that was on the class today, Jill, if you want me to. I can do that.
For some reason, I can't get myself out. Which way?
Hold on. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, Jill, I'm gonna have to get you over the notes and stuff in your email, if you don't mind. No problem. I got caught up something else and lost track of time. Please do. All right. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Thanks, Stephen. Y'all, appreciate y'all for coming through. Yes, Stephen, I'm gonna have to get up there to your house too. I know my wife told me months ago. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to get up to y'all house too, and we're gonna have to get y'all project going very soon too. Probably can get out there next week, to be honest with you. It's perfect because Mother's Day coming up. Also too, y'all make sure you go check out y'all local FFA. our FFA in Franklin, they're having a plant sale today, and they're actually giving away all vegetable plants for free. Starting at 3:30 today in Franklin, North Carolina, they're giving away free plants all day long. So you can come get free vegetable plants, and they selling hanging baskets. So I'm gonna go there and buy a bunch of hanging baskets, and I'm gonna get a bunch of vegetables too. So y'all go check out y'all town local FFA, or if you want to drive over to my town and get you some, drive on over. All right. I hope y'all have a good day. I appreciate y'all for coming through. I'm sorry I had to make it short today. If my daughter didn't leave her project, I would have went over everything again. All right. One love.